White dot, outer beyond the white dot, left turn first available. I got a high wind coming up on about a half-mile final, clear to land outer beyond. Traffic on the left base, you're following a Cessna down low off your left. Square it up just a little bit, and then we're going to get you in. Start your descent, though. Start your descent on the base. Traffic on final, give me follow on base. Base traffic, start turning toward the numbers now. High wing coming up on quarter-mile final, take it all the way down to the green. Cessna taxiing on the green, expedite down to the next hard surface. Get me some speed, there you go, go fast. This is going to be good. I got traffic on a mile final. You're following traffic ahead and to your right. High wing coming up on the threshold. Take it all the way down to the green dot.
5 Charlie Sierra, 2 mile final.
A mile final, turn north, and we're going to just make you, we're going to bring you back around. Jet traffic's coming up on about a mile and a half final. Runway 9er clear to land.
Okay, all right, let's listen up, guys. If you're on final for runway 9, I want you to offset to the left. I got a jet that's landing on runway 9. The jet's cleared to land runway 9 if you can make it. If not, just continue straight ahead. It looks like you're going around for the jet. That's fine.
Oh, we had one right in front of us, sir.
Dragger. Let's see what we got. A tricycle, put it down. Tricycle, put it down. Tail dragger, down to the green dot, then a left turn. Short final here. You cleared land on 9 all the way to the white dot. Go down to the white dot. Find somebody to follow out here. Canard, just come to the runway, and I might have to just send you around. That'll be fine. And for the jet, you just want to stay in this pattern, or you want to go back out for an instrument approach?
Stay in a pattern, Charlie Sierra.
All right, just stay with me here for a minute. And my tail dragger, and let's see, over the numbers, go down to the green. And Canard's going to have to go around. Canard, go around. And my high wing here over the runway, keep it airborne. You do not descend. You got a fast guy behind you. Do not descend. There you go. Keep it airborne. As soon as the guy behind you gets slowed down, I'm going to put you down. So keep it airborne. The one that just passed the white dot, make a left turn on the hard surface. All right, my high wing tail dragger, you can put it down now. And Charlie Sierra, let me get you about a mile off. Let's see, Charlie Sierra, I lost. There you are. Make a left-hand turn. I'll try to resequence you here on the down ones. We'll see how it looks. Short final, you're clear to land runway 9 on the white dot. There you go. And the tricycle left on the hard surface and follow the flagman. Welcome. Thanks for being part of the show. And let's see, just find somebody to follow on the final, and as you get close to the runway, if it's not going to work, we're going to send you around and then try to resequence you. Now, who else got sent around that's not back on the downwind? The Canard?
Yeah, Canard.
All right, Canard, there's a Gulfstream up there that went around too. I just lost sight of him, but you're going to make kind of a left-hand turn and stay low. I think Charlie Sierra, what's your altitude?
3,200.
Okay, that'll be fine. Just maintain VFR. I don't know what else is up there above you. Probably most everybody's down here, so just make a left-hand turn. We'll try to get you back here.
Canard's got the jet in tight.
Okay, the RV, maybe an RV-10, whatever, here on final. Keep your speed up and go all the way down to the, aim for the green dot for me. Actually, keep your speed up. There's a guy behind you. Aim for the green dot, and I'm sure that's plenty of room for you to land on runway 9. You're clear to land on runway 9. Number 2, you're going to go down to the white dot. Follow the white dot. Actually, you know what? That's 1,500 feet. You're going to land at the white dot. The spacing looks adequate here. 2 guys on final. You're kind of tight there. Keep each other in sight, and you're going to aim for the white dot. If it's not going to work, we'll come up with a plan B. We might have to send you around. The second guy behind you out there in about a 2-mile final. Are you slow enough to be able to follow that guy in front of you? You need to go around. Well, I probably shouldn't ask that because I had about 5 guys answer me, so I should know better than that. After 35 years, you would think, right? All right, so let me see. The guy who's number 1, it's number 1. What kind of airplane is he? An RV type. All right, RV type. Keep it airborne for me. Keep it airborne. And I got a fast guy behind you. The number 2 guy over the trees there. Go ahead and put it down on the numbers. My first guy just coming up on the numbers at the over the grass at the numbers. I want you to keep it.
T-minus 1 minute and counting.
Hello.
Three, two, one.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you all doing? And welcome to this week's live stream. Thank you very, very much for coming and joining us. We've got a really, really good stream today. Some absolutely bloody fantastic real positive news. So let's just quickly run through what we've got before we move on. We've got Simon Keeling, who's going to talk to us about the weather, which is interesting this weekend. And again, we can't go flying at the moment, but, you know, we'll keep an eye on the weather. He's also going to talk to us about the SkyDemon flyable feature, which some of you will know something about. Simon had a bit of a hand in that, as I understand it. Then we go on to Dave for the news. We got some, for a change, we've got some really, really bloody good bits of news. A couple of great bits of news there. Then we're going to bring in Ivy McIver. Ivy's the product director for the SR line at Cirrus and an all-round good egg. She'll be joining us for the Right Stuff quiz. Then we'll be having a chat, got a little bit of a Cirrus video. If you watched the Cirrus flying in the intro role was Ivy, and that was in Scotland at Glenforsa. So that's good. We'll have a little bit of chat about that. Then, of course, we've got Fantasy Hangar and a few other bits and pieces that I can't remember because I need to turn over my page. I haven't done that. I'm not professional. Hey,
You're looking very officious today with your clipboard and your yellow jacket. If I can say that.
They're not related. The clipboard is because I've got a bad memory and I need to know what I'm talking about, ish. And this just makes me feel safe, like it does on an airport. I miss flying, and when I put this on, I don't have to use common sense or anything because I'm invincible and I can pick up roads and everything like that. I'm told. So anyway, so let's move on to that young chap in the top left, Simon. Simon, I'm going to press a button. It's over to you. Talk to us about the weather and about flyable.
Yeah, you say the nicest things, don't you, Ian? Okay, so this is how things look. If only we could fly at the weekend. Again, some of us will be out there, of course, and most of us won't. But actually, for the weekend, not looking too bad. Blooming cold, though. This is the chart for Saturday. You see the fronts out towards the west here, bringing rain, sleet and snow across Ireland into the far southwest of England. Isobars quite close together, so that indicates it's going to be quite windy. Base is about 3,000 feet. And a scrappy old southeasterly is cold air and warm air battle it out. Precipitation, though, looking like this. This is a chart that tells us whether it's going to be snow or rain that we see. You see those blue colours out towards the west indicating majority of precipitation there is snow. Green colours across Ireland, but for most of us, as you can see, a fairly dry day. Now, Sunday's a really windy one. Certainly one to be on the ground and probably gathering some brownie points on Sunday. Windy conditions, rain, sleet and snow out towards the west. We got high pressure off towards the east, strong southerly winds gusting up to 30 or 35 knots, and that's how precipitation looks. We've got the blue colours telling us about snow across central and eastern areas. Not expecting too much of it. You can see the green colours out west, so that's the rainfall coming in as the milder air comes in. But I think the main story for Sunday is going to be one of wind and feeling darn cold in that wind as well. Best to stay in and wrap up warm, I reckon.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool is the literal word for this one, Ian.
Where's your video then, Simon?
Okay, so SkyDemon. Let me just tell you a little bit about the new feature that's on SkyDemon. I kind of acted as a consultant for it, unpaid, from the safety point of view for what was being proposed. So this is how it looks on SkyDemon. It's a new feature. It's called Flyable, and what you can do is bring in and overlay areas of flyable and unflyable weather conditions. So some of you will have seen this on Facebook, and Ian did a video on it as well on the Flyer site. So you just select flyable from your SkyDemon and you get this overlay. Red is basically where you can't fly, green is where it's sort of marginal, and then where we don't have any colors is where it's completely flyable conditions. Now this is just a forecast, okay, and it's going to be live within the next couple of weeks. Now it's really useful. It's a great additional feature to SkyDemon, but the main thing to take from it is it's only a forecast, which is why it's not going to be available during flight. But it's very clever the way it's doing this. It's taking in data from satellites in real time, combining it with the forecast models, and then overlaying this feature. So it's incredibly clever. It's not infallible, and it certainly shouldn't be used for go no go decisions, but from what I've seen of it and the testing of it so far, I think it's going to make quite a difference. And what you can do is, as you can see on the video there, you can select your minimums that you want to be flying in. So it's actually all self-selectable to suit your needs when you go flying. So it's going to be a really interesting feature. But just remember, it is only a forecast still. But yeah, it'll be really good to get your feedback on that when it goes live.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for that.
That is very impressive.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing that I'm most impressed with it is that it's using real-time data from satellite as well, that's updated every 5 minutes, and integrates into the model. So it's using machine learning to do that. It's very, very clever the way this has been formulated. As I say, not infallible, but I think it's going to be a great addition to SkyDemon from what I can see.
Ivy is probably listening at this point, scratching her head, going, "You mean you guys don't get it uplinked or downlinked anyway? Normally live?"
Huh? Of course, the Americans have in-flight weather, don't they?
What kind of prehistoric country are you?
Well, we've got 5-minute high-resolution radar. It's just that it's not available out there for us to use. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mad. I guess all of this is an upgrade from you running around with a bit of paper with a skew T diagram on, isn't it? So
I'm still going to be doing that. I've got one right next to me now, Ed. That's what I'm going to be doing. What do you think I do at night, for God's sake?
I don't want to know.
You're sat there brushing the bit of paperwork saying, "I love you, Scooty diagram."
That's right. How did you guess?
Right, Simon, you got a quick 30 seconds if you want to give us a plug for Weather School.
Yeah, okay. So thank you very much, Ian. I have just announced the new dates for my next Aviation Weather School Part 1. It's on the 17th and 24th of April. I've got a maximum of 15 places on there. I've got 7 booked up today, and they only announced it last night. So if you want to come along, have a look at weatherschool.co.uk, book your place now. And what I do on that course is help you to forecast the weather yourself, spot weather windows 5 days in advance, and generally get you to fly more. So it'll be great to see you there on the mornings of the 17th and the 24th of April.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Okay, thanks all.
And we'll see you soon.
Have a great weekend all. See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll just bring Johnny in for a little second. Before we hand over to hello, Johnny.
Hello all. Good evening.
There's some strange noise stuff going on in the background here. I'm not sure if anyone else can hear it, but
there is some crackly
stuff. Not sure where that's coming from. In the meantime, let's head over to Dave. And Dave, give us some news.
But that's I've changed.
Okay.
Bloody
Right.
noise coming.
Okay. So top of the news this week is that Fly Live. This is the event that we're going to be organising. The dates are 12th to the 18th of April. This is when we're running Fly Live. It's going to be a virtual event. It's going to take the place partially of events like Aero Fuji-Trappen, which can't happen at the moment. We're going to have some OEMs, that's original equipment manufacturers, suppliers such as avionics, engines, the sort of exhibitors you would find at an event like Aero. And they're going to be here. They're going to be here with us on Flyer. It'll be free for visitors. Not free for it'll be free for visitors, not free for exhibitors. Are we excited?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very excited.
Right, okay. Look,
No.
we did rehearse that. So, next item. The Airfield Alliance for Yellow Jackets. That's not really what it's called. It's the General Aviation Safety Benchmark Group. And if you look at those initials, they look remarkably like gas bags. Sorry, did I say that? That was supposed to be Ed's line. Anyway, the General Aviation Safety Benchmark Group is a group of airfields and airports, GA only, which have come together to discuss occurrences such as runway and taxiway incursions or excursions, bird strikes, FOD, that sort of thing, and then work out ways of making it safer. They do have a line about high-vis jackets, which because they feel, at least the chap at the gas bags told me, that they think GA pilots are fairly relaxed about wearing high-vis jackets. Anyone got to say
I'm
on
fairly
that?
relaxed as long as I don't have to wear one.
Yeah, I agree with Ed.
Yeah, I feel people get target fixation if you've got a yellow jacket. It's like someone is going to hit you.
There is some, no, the yellow jackets are a bad thing in general, I say. Are we sure that this actually exists? It's not just a spoof that someone's trying to wind us up and create a story that doesn't exist.
No, it's come out of London Oxford Airport, which, as far as I know, is a fairly respectable place. And they've teamed up with London Biggin Hill. And there's a few airfields already joined them, St Athan and also London Southend. But it's for GA airports only. I think these guys are safety compliance managers. They like to have things they can measure and put in place.
They like a jacket.
They're probably the people who roll up the runway when they close the airport and you can't use it anymore. Take it home, aren't they?
Yes, PPR is also part of it. Yes. Anyway, let's move on quickly before anybody says anything too bad. The good news is this week, and this is very good news. It's Bry's and Oxford airspace proposal has been declined by the CEA. Among other things, the CEA said the complexity of the final proposed design exacerbates the risk of confusion and infringement. And we can't agree more with that. It's all thanks to people like Steve Nugent. Is that who you say his name? Nugent, who sort of put together the case against it. And I understand that Johnny is particularly delighted.
Yes.
Why is that, Johnny?
It's good because the CA are pushing back on ridiculous proposals, but also because that area is my playground. The airspace was going to be directly above our farm strip and all over the usual aerobatics locations and the altitudes I fly at. So it was basically going to impinge on my right to have fun.
So every week
I'd have been infringing every week, upside down, and making a right nuisance of myself. So thank you to the CAA for saving me. But joking aside, Bry's air traffic do a great job. But it's good to see that this has been knocked back.
Yep.
Yes. So what do we all think? Are we in agreement here?
Yeah, we say.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well done, Steve. Well done, GA. Well done, everyone who got involved, who got behind that. Sadly, I think it's the beginning of a lifelong work for most people, because I can't imagine controlled airspace and people asking for controlled airspace is going to go away. But well done. Good move. Thank you very much.
Pushback is good.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So moving on, the next item is a bit of a strange one, really. Operations Director Christian Ackroyd at Cotswold Airport, also known as Kemble, has sort of had a bit of a rant of his own this week, and he's called for a simpler, less expensive way of an airfield applying for a GPS approach. They've just got their RNAV approach, but he did admit that it cost them £150,000. Oh, whoa, that's a lot of money. He's made a very good point that with that kind of bill, it's simply not worth it for many airfields. So the idea of having RNAV approaches rolled out across the UK is going to be, at that price, it's not going to happen. The CAA has to find a simpler, less expensive route to develop these.
Yeah, please.
Anybody want to say anything?
No, hurry up, CAA. It's 2021.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the CAA have hurried up just about on the medical issue. So you know about this, Ian. Let's tell us more.
It is. So there was a while ago we had this thing called a PMD, Pilot's Medical Declaration, where you could go into a really efficient website online and you could fill it in and submit a form to the CAA, and that was a pilot medical declaration. For once, it was actually a slicker and a better system than the FAA have with their driving license validation. It was great. And there was an alleviation if you wanted to fly an airplane under 2,000 kilos. So max all that weight, obviously. So basically, roughly speaking, if you could drive a car, you were going to be okay for that. And then in kind of aligning their rules with the ANO and a few bits and pieces, they made a bit of a mistake and put out some information that kind of had a whole load of people worried. And on the face of it, it looked like the 2,000 kilo alleviation had gone away. And today the CA came out with an explanation to say, sorry, we got that. We didn't mean to cause any stress. We got it wrong. This is the particular case. But I have to say, the news statement also caused a little bit of confusion. So I asked for some clarification. So bear with me because I need to read this bit because it's actually relatively important. I'd like to get it a little bit right at least. So basically, if you've got a national license issued in accordance with the ANO, you can take advantage of the pilot medical declaration, and you've got two options. You can either declare that you're only operating aircraft with a maximum takeoff weight of 2,000 kilos or less and comply with that medical criteria, or if you want to fly something heavier up to 5,700 kilos, you can declare for that and you comply with different medical criteria. So far, so simple. That's if you've got an ANO issued, like an old brown license, if you like, MPPL kind of thing. If you've got a UK Part FCL, Part BFCL, Part SFCL license, you can take advantage of it, but you can't take advantage with that license of the sub 2,000 kilo alleviation. It's 5,700 kilos for you only. And however, on the flip side of that coin, with your Part FCL license, you can fly Part 21 aircraft, which is what used to be the old Annex 1 / Annex 2, depending on which way they changed it, aircraft. However, if you're operating on the old Pooh Brown license and the PMD there, you can't currently fly Part 21 aircraft. So we kind of got a strange situation in the UK where you've got a UK PPL issued for life with a UK PMD or a UK medical, but you can't fly an aircraft with a G on the side of it. It's all a bit bonkers, but that's the clarification for now. And we're expecting, hopefully, I say we're expecting, logic dictates that at some stage in the future, with a UK issued license, you ought to be able to fly all UK airplanes. You would think, wouldn't you? I mean, I would think so anyway. So that's the medical stuff.
Yeah. Okay. I don't really understand why I can't fly an aircraft that I learned to fly on with my Pooh Brown CA license.
Times have moved on.
Yeah.
There is no
anyway.
Dave.
So someone asked in the comments, what's distracting Ed? Well, the dog just walked into the room as Ian was having his rant, and I think it was all the PMDs and everything else. He looked at me as if to go, I'm off. So turned around and walked out.
That wasn't a rant. That was a calm explanation.
A clarification, yes.
Clarification.
Okay, moving on. We're in lockdown, and that's limited GA flying. However, we've learnt that instructors can fly for currency. It's over to that guy again, Ian. You know a bit about this.
Not a huge amount. There was, I think, the BMAA put something out. Basically, the CA spoke to the DFT, and if you're an instructor, then clearly, when we can all fly again, you're going to be in demand because there's all sorts of people who are going to need renewing, revalidating, refreshing, whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of important that you, as an instructor, aren't quite so rusty. Perhaps, instructors are all sky gods anyway, but they might get rusty. You never know. And so, being realistic, and that means don't kick the out of it. You can go and do a few flights on your own. You can't take a student just to kind of de-rust yourself before the onslaught of everyone once we can fly again. So, Phil, no, I didn't mean fill your boots. Go and act seriously. Act responsibility. Responsibly.
Yeah. So Jordan Bridge is saying, thanks, BGA, for getting instructors back up to speed. So I sense that maybe BGA and Pete Stratton may have had a hand in that.
I think there was a whole bunch of people who had a hand in it. I just happened to see the BMAA thing.
Yeah.
Well done, everyone who had a hand in that.
Okay, in other good news, the Secretary of State for Education, Gavin Williamson, has come out in support of Wolverhampton Airport. You remember they're building some houses, or want to build some houses, in one corner of the airfield. Now, Mr. Williamson has said he doesn't like that idea, it shouldn't do it, and it's an airfield, it should stay an airfield, and also he doesn't want 112 houses. He's also the MP for that area, so he's got a local interest. Anybody got anything to say on this? I hesitate because we had
Isn't he
rehearsals, it all went a bit wild.
Yeah, isn't he he's the guy who bungled all the school stuff, isn't he, last year? Anyway, if he's in support of airfields, I support him. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Even if he's a buffoon, yes.
Yeah, every team needs a buffoon.
Yes.
Right, stop. Right, we'll move on very quickly. This is somebody's put on here that this is a new ugly Bell first delivery. I don't think that's ugly at all. It's a Bell 505, and this is the aircraft. This is the replacement for the Bell Jet Ranger. It was launched in it was certified, in 2017, and it's been a commercial success since then. And just recently, EASA certified the new version, which is first major upgrade. This is with the Garmin G1000 NXI flight deck, so it's got more processing power, better resolution, all this kind of whole bunch of features. and the first one's been delivered to Europe. Now, I don't know quite why the word ugly crept in there, because I think it's functional.
It's
okay.
just not a looker, is it? I mean, the original Jet Ranger was a good-looking helicopter, and this is like it was designed, but it's like they gave it to the rookies in the styling department.
Well, given that nothing is ever going to look as good as a Gazelle helicopter, then I think that's I think they've done a reasonable job.
I think we're going to have to send a message to your AME that your eyesight needs testing, Dave.
Right, last item. The last item is the news about Joby Aviation. They're one of the makers of these electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, eVTOLs as they're known. Joby is one of the leaders in the pack, probably the leader in the pack, because it's earning its first revenue flights. It's getting the US military to pay for some flying. And it's also agreed with the FAA a process to certificate the aircraft as a passenger carrying aircraft. And lastly, probably the most importantly, they've partnered with Garmin to install a specially tailored version of the G3000 flight deck in there. You may remember the G3000 is one of the more sophisticated flight decks. It's an extremely sophisticated flight deck, and it's fitted to Cirrus's jet, the Piper M600, and also the TBM 940, because it's got the emergency auto land feature, which sort of steers it towards autonomous flights. So it can, if in an emergency, passenger goes, help! Pilot's just keeled over, it can land itself.
I'm sure that's not why they've selected it for this in the meantime, but it certainly paves the way for the future, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Yep. Okay, so that's the end of the news. I'm just conscious of the time. It's time for the Right Stuff quiz. Over to you, Ed.
Thank you very much.
So having appeared on her screen, though she is muted at the moment, someone needs to fix that. There we go. Can you hear us? Can you speak to us, Ivy?
Yes,
Excellent.
hello.
So joining us from Knoxville, I'm correctly saying, from Knoxville in the United States is Ivy McIver, who is the director of the SR product line for Cirrus aircraft, and we've known Ivy for a long time. Ivy's responsible for flying Cirrus SR aircraft all around for various tours, demonstrations, and shows, and she joins us tonight to take the live stuff quiz, and she'll be interviewed by Ian shortly. You'll have to bear with me, Ivy, because I've not got the type rating for the quiz. Ian's handed it over to me tonight, so.
All right, I'm trying not to feel the pressure, but I think I'm ready.
I know. This is the quiz that comes with its own vaguely, slightly sinister intro music.
Yeah, my heart rate's already elevated. So.
Already elevated. So basically, it's quick fire, and we've had some slow people, that's for sure. And you've got 30 seconds from the time I read you the first of 10 questions. So, Ian, are you ready to start the countdown? So, first question, tail dragger or nose wheel?
Tail dragger.
North up or track up?
Track up.
Sectional or screen?
Screen.
Composite, aluminium or wood?
Composite. Or composite, as we like to say in the United States.
Ah, not aluminum. Stick or yoke?
Stick.
Glass or steam?
Glass.
Grass or hard?
Grass.
Canard or biplane?
Biplane.
VFR or IFR?
IFR.
Dale or Allen?
Abstain.
We should have had a countdown going on that, and we've lost it somewhere. So I think we need to reintroduce Ian, who I know is in the background there. What did you do? Did you bungle your buttons?
I pressed my button, but I can't hear any of the sound effects from where I'm sitting.
I think it's fair to say Ivy's been the fastest question answerer that we've had so far.
Well done, Ivy. On my side. I say that facetiously.
Well, thank you very much, and I hate to say it, Ivy has got another 100%er on that, which is really frustrating. So it means we've got to go and change a whole load more questions. So Ivy becomes our second 100%er in the Flyer Right Stuff quiz. So you get the right stuff done. Well done, Ivy.
Excellent. I'm going to remove
I can't wait to receive my major award.
The journey is the reward, Ivy. So let's welcome to the Flyer live stream.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be chit-chatting with you, although I wish I was with you in person.
And so we wish you were here as well. So let's just run through a few questions before we get onto the whole Cirrus stuff. Let's talk about stripping.
Furniture stripping?
No, farm stripping, grass runways.
Oh, that kind of stripping. I'm into it. So into it.
Yeah, no. Given that you spend a portion of your professional life flying around in brand new aircraft, and I think you've just got your SF50 type rating, so you probably get a chance to fly around in the SF50 as well. And I'm not at all jealous. That's amazing. But I do believe, in fact, I know. In fact, I hope you still got it. Have you still got your other airplane, your strip airplane?
I do. Yes, I have an American Champion Citabria.
And
that's my fun airplane, and I keep it on a grass strip in Knoxville, Tennessee, just north of McGee Tyson Airport, where Cirrus is located.
Fantastic. And how often do you get a chance to fly that?
Not as often as I would like. I say I'm probably up 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's probably more than most of us at the moment. So how long have you been at Cirrus?
So I've been at Cirrus. I am 1 month shy of my 15-year anniversary. So it's sneaking up on 15 years.
Wow. And what did you start off doing?
So I started off as a sales rep. I was a sales director in Utah, based out of Salt Lake City. I covered the Northern Rockies and Southern Canada. And then after about, I think I was there for 5 or 6 years. And then I moved up to Seattle. I covered the Pacific Northwest, Western Canada, and Alaska for about 3 years. And then I shifted from sales into marketing. So I moved over to the marketing organization as the product line manager for the SR series. And I was located in Duluth, Minnesota for 18 months, which was enough. I survived 2 whole winters in Duluth. And then I moved down to Knoxville. And my job now is to sort of oversee the product roadmap from the customers and marketing side of the SR series, and then kind of do all the support for marketing for the SR series. So collateral, sales support, pricing, forecasting, all that stuff. And then the fun part of my job is flying with you. So I'm one of just a handful of formation pilots here at Cirrus Aircraft. So I do all the fun photo shoots and all the strategic media meetings and things. So
I have to say, because we quite often we do end up when we can fly, we do end up flying quite a lot of formation for the photography, and Cirrus is one of those companies that make flying make the formation part of it really easy. And Ivy is an absolutely fantastic formation pilot, super cool. The only thing I'm going to criticize about Ivy's formation is she has to have bloody music playing half the time. So flicks on
gotta have a soundtrack.
Cirrus XM, and we have some bluegrass blasting out while the whole.
It's not bluegrass.
Yeah. Of course, it's bluegrass. You're all hillbillies. In Texas, aren't
no,
not in Texas, in
Tennessee. I mean, there are definitely requirements before I leave for a formation flight. I've got to have my my aviator sunglasses. I've got to have my lipstick, and I've got to have a great music channel selected for my formation soundtrack.
That's exactly the same as me, but without the music.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so, I get you. Yeah.
So that flying you did in Scotland, what was your impression of flying in Scotland when you came over here? Because in America, it's kind of a little bit different, isn't it? How did you find Scotland?
So in America, you hop in your plane and you can fly anywhere, and you can talk to people or you don't have to talk to people. And when you talk to people, you understand what they're saying. When I got to Scotland, I was incredibly intimidated because you had to call ahead everywhere you went just to make sure you had the proper paperwork filed and they were expecting you. And you had to pay a lot of fees depending on where you were. You had to call ahead for fuel, which was a new thing for me. I actually landed somewhere and saw someone land without calling ahead for fuel, and they were appropriately scolded. I'm glad I wasn't that person. But the most interesting thing about flying in Scotland is flying without understanding a word that the controllers were saying.
We all have the same problem everywhere.
It was incredible. I'm like, I know they're speaking English, but I can't understand. The views were gorgeous. The airports were all in absolutely great shape. And so far as I know, I was not violated when I was there, but it certainly was a struggle to not just keep asking, say again. I know when you and I flew in 2 separate airplanes into Oban, I was very thankful that you were ahead of me because I based my answers on what you were saying in response to them, not what I was saying in response to them, because I could not understand a word of what they were asking me for. I just said exactly what you said, and it seemed to get me by okay.
Just change the registration.
Just change the registration, exactly.
Fantastic. Ed, in the background there, before we move on to the next bit, start having a look. If anyone's got any questions for Ivy, maybe put them in the thing, and then Ed, you can pop them up. I just want to have a little bit of more of a serious chat now. I saw something recently on a Cirrus Owners and Pilots magazine that said 100 saves. Was that a milestone that was passed recently?
Yes, we've had over 100 CAPS deployments, and there's been over 200 lives saved. So over 200 people returned safely to their family. There's a handful of furry friends in there as well. So there's been a couple of dogs on board for CAPS events as well. So yeah, it was a big milestone. I love to see that outcome as opposed to other potential outcomes. So it's been it's had a good run so far.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's fair to say the response in the US used to be a little bit negative every time there was a CAPS pull, and that seems to have got over that. But it's still the case that it happens in the UK, and there may well be a few people popping up a few questions on here asking you about it. I don't know, but we'll find out. So that brings us on to what is a particularly stunning achievement with 8,000 deliveries. So I've got a little video somewhere that I'm going to play. It's just a short video for people just to see the 8th. Well, I don't know if this one's the 8,000th Cirrus. I would suggest it probably isn't. It's just a little bit of smoke and mirrors and marketing, but it probably looks like it anyway. But let's not tell anyone, just in case. So here's the 8,000th Cirrus.
I'm ahead of the game. Remember who am I? I'm a boss and I'm honestly off my rocker, but follow me, I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game. I'm only ever slinging, I'm working overtime. Got a song and I'm the singer, the melody, the vibe. I'm a prodigy, logically, I'm impossibly wanted. Then they'll remember my name. They'll remember my name. That ooh, that ooh, that well, I'm ahead now. I'm ahead of the game. I'm ahead of the game.
Very cool, very cool. So I don't know about anyone else, but I've got 2 questions immediately that come from that video, if I may.
Okay, I'm ready.
How much are they?
So they're right around 1.2 million, just shy of 1.2 million.
Okay.
How much?
US.
Oh, that's okay then. And the second question, why didn't you land on the center line?
Oh my gosh, I knew that was going to come up, right? So that airfield is actually the shortest public paved airport in Florida. And we were, at the same time as filming that 8,000 video, we were also filming a short takeoff and landing course. So we did, we did tons of patterns and like different angles and different shots and like land super short, land a little bit long. We were doing all these demonstrations, and the clip that they decided to use for that video was when I was slightly left of center line. I'm like, come on, I had so many perfect ones right on the center line. You know what they say, runways are for pilots, center lines are for professionals. So I guess I wasn't feeling so professional on that particular take.
Which airport was that?
Cedar Key.
Okay, it looks like they got a new runway. Last time I went.
Well, it was newly paved. Literally the only thing at that airport is the runway and a billboard with a phone number that you can call to use one of the 2 golf carts that's sitting next to the runway. And then you can take a golf cart and, drive into town or whatever you want to do. But that's it. That's the only thing there.
That's very cool. It used to be that
it's worth the trip. It's worth the trip.
When you called on the unicorn. When you called on the unicorn frequency for Cedar Key, you used to get the local taxi driver. She'd answer you and she'd say, "You guys want a taxi?" And if you said,
she's still there.
She's still there.
Yeah, she's still there.
Not found a way out yet.
We've got a couple of questions in the comments, Ivy.
Great, I'm ready.
Obviously, we're asking for questions. Paul Fraser Benison says, "Are you married?"
I am.
I'd like Paul. More seriously, Eugene Burns says, "What's next in the SF-50 jet development? Do you know?"
Yeah, that's that's kind of I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you question. That we definitely have a ton of stuff that we're working on for the jet. So definitely keep your ears open. It's more exciting stuff is coming.
Okay, cool. Vansman GT2 says, "How many Cirrus hours have been flown?"
Oh, that's a great question. Actually, over 11 million fleet hours for the SR series.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been 8,000 airplanes and 11 million flight hours. It's been a pretty incredible. What has it been? 2022. We're going on our 22nd year.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've got a question. How much is the 4-blade prop?
Oh gosh, yeah, I should know this off the top of my head, but I actually can't remember. I would actually have to look at the price sheet, which is published on our website. So,
is it worth it? Is it worth the upgrade?
It's kind of an interesting debate. Like it's a polarizing debate, I would say. Performance-wise, it's very similar to the 3-blade composite prop on the 22T. It does have a very distinct kind of growl to it when you start up the plane. So like when either when you're inside and you start it up or when you're outside and you hear it fire up, it kind of has this like sporty, deeper growl when it goes. So like that's kind of cool. And then from an aesthetics point of view, if you like the X, like that kind of gets some people going, and some people are like, yeah, I like the quintessential kind of 3-blade prop. So, we've seen definitely a lot of folks think it's cool and opt in, and then there's a fair amount of folks who are like, you know what, I'm fine with the 3-blade. So it's kind of a personal preference kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Very diplomatic.
Ian, I've got to say, Jonathan Smith says, Flyer prescribes unicorn frequencies as part of lower airspace strategy.
I think we should just make that a uniform change. Unicorn frequency everywhere. Global change.
Yeah, I agree. From now on, it will be call on unicorn.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's new? What's next for the SR series then?
You can't ask me these questions because I'm not going to answer them. So, at the end of the day, I think both on the SR side and the SF side, we're just looking to make the plane cooler, more useful, more attainable, an easier transition from whatever you're in, right? So like, we love talking to people who are coming from outside of aviation and bringing them into general aviation, right? And so like, if we can speak the language of people coming from, Teslas and like high-end boats and things like that, and they look at the airplane and think, well, that's not an intimidating, scary place, so I think I'll check it out. Then we're winning, right? And whether they come and look at the Cirrus and say, like that's not for me, but now airplanes are interesting and I'm going to look at something else. Or yes, that's the plane for me. Or hey, that looks like it can be useful. I have no interest in flying, but I can get, you know, to my second house in 2 hours instead of driving in traffic for 6 hours. Like all of this is great for everyone, right? So, you know, what are we working on? We're just working on making the plane cooler, more technologically advanced, more capable, and, you know, more interesting to more people.
I think people have known over the years that Cirrus is always at the forefront of pushing GA innovation. So
yeah, we try to. It's exhausting, but
but more importantly, Ian, do you have Ivy's right stuff score? I
do, but Ivy scored 100% because I gave her a pass on the last question, which I probably shouldn't have done, thinking about it. So I might demote that down to 90%, thinking about it.
Oh,
but
man.
you can answer the last question now, if you like.
What's that?
You can answer the last question now, if you like.
Nope. I'm sticking with my I abstain.
Okay, you get to abstain.
I thought that was a clever answer, actually.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Well, thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you either at Aero or at Oshkosh or somewhere in the UK or somewhere in the US or sometime soon. We look forward to coming flying with you again. It's a real pleasure to fly with. I'm not saying this just because you're here, but it is a real pleasure to fly with Ivy and Cirrus, who make things. You know, some manufacturers go out their way to make things difficult, and some manufacturers go out their way to make things easy. And even if Ivy makes it difficult, it's still fun.
Well, thank you so much. It was so great to chat with you guys. I can't wait to see you in person. I can't wait to fly with you again. And next time you come to Knoxville, we'll go stripping.
We'll go stripping on a bike. I look forward to it. Thanks very much, Ivy.
I'm ahead of the game.
I didn't need to play that. What happened there?
Oh, you can play it again. It's fine.
I know. Thanks very much.
Ivy. See ya.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, hey, never any finger trouble here at Flyer.
Hey, there was one slip. So,
you know, if you answer those questions about future SR models and jet models, they're taken back to Duluth. That would be the punishment. Duluth in February. 4 meters of snow.
I think you have a problem with your mic, Dave.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. Am I speaking now?
Yeah.
We can hear you. You're very muffled, though.
Am I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. What I was saying was that if Ivy had answered those questions straight, or said Alan or Dale, then they'd probably have whisked her back to Duluth. Currently, there's about 4 meters of snow, rather than sunny Tennessee.
Dave, I'm going to mute you for 30 seconds while you fiddle with your mic, because it sounds like it's running under a tap. I'll see you in a second.
There we go.
There you go.
Paul Kittle says, Dave, we're on 8.33
now. No longer on HF.
Yeah. Or Dave White says, Dave's microphone needs an annual.
Absolutely.
Very good.
While he's fiddling with it. What's next then?
What's next? It's got the fancy hangar.
Okay.
Dave's at sea by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Is my mic working okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You're slightly hear you. But so fancy hangar. What did we decide to do tonight? If I can check my thing. So we thought this week we'd go looking in the classifieds and find our favourite purchase. The best thing we could find for under 40k. So we trawled the usual trawl of A4s, trader plane, plane check, and all those sorts of things. And this is what we came up with. So if you've got, maybe you had some time to prepare and look for something. If you've got a suggestion, stick it in the comments. But otherwise, this is what we've got. So who's first?
Dave. Windy Dave.
Right. Well, what I found, and I think it's an absolute steal, is this Scottish Aviation Bulldog. It's Mark 1, 1974. It's it's been priced at €35,000. It's in France, a place called Cognac, and that's why the countryside behind looks so fantastic. It's got the engine is 1,800 hours, the airframe 8,700. Of course, on Bulldogs, you have to think about what's called the fatigue index, which measures the load cycles. And when the fatigue life reaches a certain number, 114, then the Bulldog wing spar mod needs to be made to strengthen the wing attachment. Not a trivial undertaking, I'm told, but it does extend the fatigue index. It's the only thing about this is it's in France, and since Brexit, if you bring an item like that back to the UK, you may have to pay VAT again. So,
I think you probably will have to, but you'll still be in budget, I think.
yeah. Well, I think it's a great life. It's a great aeroplane, even if the fatigue life is slightly on edge.
Just make sure you're not buying a pub.
Yeah. Oh dear, that's terrible.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Who's next?
Yeah. No, I'm not sure. Who is next?
Ooh,
is it me?
I don't know. What's next in the photos?
I think it's probably me. So I've chosen unusually a Cub, sort of a Cub Coupe, a J4A. This one's from, I think, 1942. I found it on A4s. It's up there for 16,750, which is a Billy bargain. It's got a fairly high time engine on it, and the ad's very candid and said if you're looking for a Concorde d'Elegance, this one's not it. But if you're looking for a lovable aeroplane, then why not? And it just looks absolutely fantastic. I quite fancy that. It looks like a really nice, comfortable airplane to fly from the spring to the autumn and then fettle it over the winter. Just looks like a very nice, civilized way to spend 16,750 quid.
And you've got loads of money to spend on avgas.
Loads of money to spend on avgas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Probably more avgas than.
Yeah, Cub Coupe is a great airplane. I've got a few dozen hours in one of those. It's like flying a big squishy sofa.
That sounds like my kind of airplane. To be fair. Right, next. So vote for me, everybody. But before you do, you better consider what Johnny has got, I think. Johnny.
Yes, I have gone for a traditional Cub, a 1939 J3 C65 with just under 3,000 hours total time. The logs go back to 1945, and in the advert, quote, "It's never been rained on." It's a steal for just 35,000, which gives me a bit of money to get it back to the UK. It's based in Connecticut, and obviously I found this on Barnstormers, and I can't think of anything more perfect. What about you guys?
Have you flown a Cub, Johnny?
Never, no.
Not even sat in one.
That was a very boring choice, Johnny.
Gorgeous choice.
A Cub's great. A Cub is great. So,
it's very slow, very, very slow.
And Clear Crowd says not selling the Cub there, Ed. Not selling the Coupe there with the sofa. Actually the Cub Coupe handles really nicely, and I found that they're generally faster than a regular Cub. It's just got this lovely bench seat and this big long stick, and it is like being in a big armchair. So they're nice. It's a nice airplane.
All these fantasy hangar things. This Cub Coupe. If I had 17 grand, some hangar space, and plenty of time to spare, that would be a fantasy into reality. But none of those things are true. So it's going to remain a fantasy, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
A bit like Johnny's interesting Cub.
Mean.
What are you choosing, Ed?
What am I choosing? So, and this wasn't in budget. This is still on A4s at the moment. If you scroll back through a few pages, it was on A4s for just a smidge under 45k. It's a rear wing 175 Sky Ranger, absolutely gorgeous. It's just had a complete ground up restoration, new fabric, engine overhaul. It's got Continental A75. From 1940, it's rare in the UK. I don't think there's another example. There's a rear wing Cloudster, which has got the radial engine. But anyway, this is, I spotted this in the back of the LA mag last issue, and it's been reduced to 35k, which for a restored aeroplane, which when you restore an aeroplane, it's like you're making a new aeroplane. You go, how often do you get to buy something that's like nearly new for 35k in aviation? What a great... So I just think that's an awful lot of aeroplane for not very much money. So 35k or near offer. I think it was in the January issue of LA Mag, and if you scroll through the ads on A4s, it's still there. But I think that's really, really nice and a bit rare. How often do you get to buy rarity?
Yeah, it does look nice. Apart from the fact it's got some ridiculously big tail on it. It has
got quite a big tail. It's second only to the giant. If you see photos of the instrument panel, it's got a dish plate sized rev counter. So
your rear definitely will look big in that.
That's it. Yeah. But anyway, in terms of, we've had a really good suggestion in the comments. Chris Holiday says he's found a 1938 Aerosport on Trader Plane, and he's given a link. And I've got a feeling I know what an Aerosport is, and if there's one of those in budget, that's a real steal. So I may have to go and check that out. So I think we'll say that nice aeroplanes under 40k. All of those are good choices.
Yeah. Bit of a winner, which is amazing, really, when you think about it. Being able to buy airworthy and not quite airworthy aircraft that are that old and classic it's a very undervalued market compared to cars and bikes and stuff like that.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Pete Jeffcoat says buy 3 Jodel 112s for 40k.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, unless we got any more there, in which case we'll pop back to them in a minute. But
I can't see any more.
Okay, well, let's move over to Johnny. And Johnny, tell us all about the club. Oh no, sorry. Hold your fire, Johnny. I've messed up again. Dave, you're back on with what's not cancelled this week, or what is cancelled this week, or give us some events.
Okay, so I'm holding my hands like this. I'm not actually praying. It's just holding my mic right in front of me, so it works a bit better. Okay, so I'm not going to go through events that have been cancelled because that's a bit boring. Instead, I've picked on a couple. One that really caught my eye was the Spies and Intrigue Evening Drive-In Display at Shuttleworth. That's in May. I mean, that sounds a bundle of fun, doesn't it? We can roll up as dressed as a Frenchman with a baguette and bag of onions and pretend to be from the French Resistance.
While they fly the Lysander in.
And while they fly the Lysander in, I can do my best hello accent.
But yeah, Shuttleworth led the way on drive-in air shows last year, so that sounds like that's a great addition to the calendar, and hopefully it will happen. So yes, yep. A couple of events that have been pushed back. Aero Friedrichshafen, of course, which was supposed to be in April. Yeah, for obvious reasons, they've now put that back to the 14th to the 17th of July. And the Microlight Trade Fair, great, really enjoyable event at Popham, normally held on the first week of May. That's been pushed back to the 14th to the 15th of August. And there's a bit about, Gasco Safety Evenings. Ian.
Yes, so last week we thought, I know what, let's have a Gasco, because the Gasco Safety Evenings are all online. I thought, let's see if we can tee one up for the members of the Flyer Club. I spoke to Mike Donoghue, CEO of Gasco, and he's up for the idea. So we're just got to work out a few of the details, and we'll be with you soon, and we'll be organising the Flyer Club Safety Evening. So if you remember the Flyer Club, come along to the Safety Evening. We'll have a bit of a laugh, a whole load of safety, and some fun, and learn some useful stuff. So watch out for details there. So thank you. And if anyone else wants to do anything special along those lines for the Safety Evening, for the Flyer Club, I should say, let Johnny know. Johnny runs the club. He's the club champion, club captain, and everything else. So let him know.
We've got a reminder here. Mark Jeffrey says, what's on more to the point? Little Grands and Children in Need is planning to be on for children on the 29th of August.
Excellent. Well, hopefully that'll all be sorted. There was a bunch of ministerial confusion this week about summer, wasn't there? But hopefully that'll all be resolved.
They'll allow it.
Yeah. We will have summer. Right, thank you. And Johnny, at last, tell us everything.
All about the club, yes. So thank you to all the members and also the readers for sending in your stories and your photos describing what you're going to be doing post-lockdown, which is great. And you'll be seeing them in the next edition of the magazine, so keep a good lookout. And for club members out there eager to get out and about and explore with your trusty free landing fees, Next week, we'll be launching the first of many airfield briefing videos to go alongside them. So you can get the lowdown from airfield managers, from CFIs and other people. So keep an eye on your inboxes for more information about that. And if you found Simon's weather forecast and his background information on the new SkyDemon setting useful, then Flyer Club members get access to 2 weekly briefings from Simon, straight from his mouth, accessible through the Flyer Club, which you can visit through flyer.co.uk. So if you've not joined, that's another great, massive benefit to get involved and be part of the club. It's just £7.50 per quarter, which is a great value. And I've said before, it's a great investment when you've got landing fees, you've got weather briefings, you've got discounts. So come along, join the club.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Anything else before we head off? Oh, there you go.
We got Andrew Caldecott offered up another event. Still hopeful for Rougham, and which I think is on the LA UK tour with leg 2, May 22nd and Vintage Piper Day. All welcome.
Let's hope so. May 22nd is, I don't know. Let's hope so. Anyway, if we haven't got anything else, that it's already 2025, which is getting on for an hour. We need to stop. People have got lives out there. Thank you very much for spending the time with us. We really enjoy this. We look forward to seeing you again next week with the whole load of stuff. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and leave a comment there. Otherwise, we'll see you next week with a whole bunch of other good stuff. Maybe, you never know. We might have a CAA guest. On the other hand, we might not. We might have to get an empty CAA chair, just especially for hard questions. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.